name is Monica Brown, and I'll be presenting on the topic of child starvation. Since the 1970s, we humans have been producing enough food in order to sustain our entire population. Starvation, therefore, means that it is an entirely human decision-based issue. But it also means that if we humans change our decision, the issue can also be solved, even though it seems unsolvable most of the time. So starvation is obviously a very large issue, one that we've heard about many times. And last year it affected 795 million people, which works out to be about 1 in 9. The vast majority of these people come from developing nations, where anywhere between 20 and 33% of a nation's entire population can be suffering. Unfortunately, the majority of these people also are children. Looking specifically at child mortality rates, it is believed to be about 1 in 3 child deaths are related to malnutrition issues, although they are frequently labeled as less. Because of this, people in developing nations are often almost forced to have more children because the life of their child is not guaranteed. So the more children that they have, the more probable it is that some of them will at least reach childbearing age in order to sustain their populations. Obviously, as children, the majority of what they will be consuming in their first 2 years is milk, which is great because milk provides plenty of vitamins like A, D, E, K, and B. It provides plenty of fat and protein, also along with iron. Unfortunately, if a mother who is breastfeeding is not getting the proper nutrition that she needs, sometimes her children are also not getting what they need. If a child is suffering from malnutrition within their first 2 years, over time they can suffer from stunting, blindness, slower brain development, a lower capacity to do work, delayed puberty, and they will also be more susceptible to illness due to an underdeveloped immune system. Unfortunately, many of these issues are not reversible. Starvation happens for a myriad of reasons, and the most prevalent of them being poverty. It just kind of traps people within a circle because a low personal income means having less access to food and safe water, which means suffering from hunger and poor sanitation, disease, and even death, which looking at an entire nation means a depleted workforce, which puts them at an even more economic decline than they already were. Also, many of these developing nations just physically don't have the infrastructure that they need in order to be successful, so having roads and storage facilities, irrigation systems, and fertilizers in order to ensure every year that they get a constant crop. Therefore, they are constantly dependent on the weather. Also, starvation is used as a war tactic because if two nations are fighting, then the opposing nation will purposefully destroy a food system to put that population into starvation. And also, food waste is very prevalent, as we've heard many times in this class. For this issue, change is needed right now because in the year 2050 we are estimated to have 9 billion people on our planet, which means that we need to double our food production. We also face issues with climate change, and we will just physically have less tillable land in order to produce food, so the technologies and the practices that we use now need to be top-notch in order to feed everyone. Ultimately, what needs to be done is we need to teach better farming practices into developing nations because typically the information that they are using within their systems is 2 or 3 generations behind what we're using right now. They're just kind of in an information bubble. So we as CFAN students truly have the advantage because we have the opportunity to do research at our world-renowned university. We can study abroad and actively help the people, and we can donate our time and our money to organizations that are helping this issue. Starvation, especially child starvation, is such a large issue, and it requires a mass call to action because it's not going to be solved overnight. And it's not going to be solved by just a few people. We as individuals have the opportunity to impact other individuals' lives and determine if they are successful and happy. Thank you.